was at the store today buying workout equipment, and as I went to check out, I told the cashier my story. And she says, "Oh my gosh, this is happening to my mother." She tells me her mother's going to the chiropractor 2 to 3 times a week. And every time she walks out, she's in worse pain than when she came in. And she said it was muscular. I asked her, can your mother climb the stairs? She said, can't climb stairs. She can't wear heels. She can only wear one type of shoe. She's getting depressed. I said, is she gaining weight? She said, yep, because she can't work out. She can't do the basic functions like run, jump, jog, hop, what you're supposed to be able to do. I said, this happened to me. I said, you need to see a PT or a physical therapist. And as I walked to my car, I thought about me sharing my story to other people and making a video like I'm doing now. Because I know this has happened to others, and it's probably happening to people currently or in the past. I want to make a disclaimer that not all chiropractors are bad. There are some amazing ones out there, just like in any profession, it's good and bad. But this is my story. I want to start out with, I'm 41 years old. I'm a single parent. I've always been active. In high school, I did marching band. I did track. I used to do gymnastics. I used to do cartwheels on a balance beam. In college, I played street hockey. I used to play soccer or football. When I lived in England, I had my internship in Parliament back when Tony Blair was Prime Minister. On the weekends, I went to polo. Yeah, Prince William, Prince Harry played that sport. Maybe someday I'll tell you all the story in another video. But I would get polo lessons. And so I used to ride horses. In Michigan, where I grew up, I used to go to Black River Farms horse camp each summer. So I was always active. But the story starts with in around 2010, December, after my son was born. So let's go January 2011. And being a woman, as you know, if you're not exercising during a pregnancy, and I couldn't because I was high risk, they told me I had to do bed rest, and they did not tell me to do any exercise. They actually said don't do anything. So I got lazy very easily, and it bothered me that I was lazy, but the safety of my baby was more important. So around January, I noticed that I was getting muscle spasms like throughout my body, my legs basically. I went to my doctor. She's like, you need to go to a chiropractor. So I went to one. He would put my hip back in place. He'd tell me I need to work on therapy of stretching, and go to the gym and do exercises. So he was a good guy. And I went to him maybe once or twice a year. And I would get active again, and everything was great, right? Fast forward to about 3 years ago, I had a pain, and I think it was just something that was acting up from working out or way I fell or something. And I went to the chiropractor, but he wasn't there. His colleague he had hired was there. And he says, I don't do anything that the other chiropractor does. We're going to do things, I'm not going to snap the hip in place, where you lay on your side and they push on the hip. He says, I'm going to use the activator. And he says, wow, your hips are totally out of line, and your C4 is out, and this is out, and he pushed my back in, okay? And you hear that snap, crackle, pop thing? And he would do both sides of the hips with the activator. And each session, I would walk out with so much pain, like a pinched nerve. And I would go back in, there's a pinched nerve. He says, that's weird, my clients never complain about that. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's me. So I thought I'd walk it off, give it a few days, 2 weeks. And so I wouldn't see him often. I'd go in like maybe once a month, and I go walk it off. I go work out, but it still hurt. And then because my daughter does cheerleading, I had to go to comps, and I would drive there, and I had to do a lot of walking. And it got to a point where it hurt so much, and people are looking at me like, are you okay? I was having what you call a pirate walk. Ahoy there, matey. I was limping, and it'd be the right, sometimes the left. And it hurt because it hurt to flex my upper thigh. Like I couldn't even flex it. I shouldn't say I couldn't at the time. I could barely flex it, but it hurt. And sometimes when I walk out of session with this chiropractor, my foot instead of being this way, my whole leg was turned that way. It was the most weirdest science fiction type of story. And my daughter said, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, it hurts. And I get these spasms, so I do stretches, do lunges, anything to correct it. And it would correct itself for the most part, but the pinched nerve was there. And so let's say the limping was going on for several years. So say about 3 years ago, it all felt bad. And then I quit going to him because every time I walk in, hey, there's something going on, he would not listen to me. And then someone told me about a sports chiropractor, and he worked with a lot of athletes. a lot of well-known ones. So I thought, okay, well, this guy's famous. I'm going to go to him. So him and his colleague made me a science experiment, laid on the table, and they're like, oh, this is out, this is out. And then he made my legs go even like a Barbie doll. Well, I'm born with one leg slightly longer than the other. So is my father, so are my sisters, so is my uncle, my dad's brother, my half siblings, my half aunts and uncles, because my dad's biological father had that. So, and I guess a lot of people are born that way. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. And so I'd walk out, and I was like walking normal for about a few minutes, and then my body goes, nope, this is not normal for me. And then I was wobbling again, limping, and I walked back in there, and he's like, okay, let me fix this. Well, after I left, I got in the car. I couldn't hear on my left ear. Something was blocking it, and I thought, this is weird. I thought maybe, just fluids coming down. Like, I didn't know what the heck was going on. I went back in and said, I can't hear. He said, well, that's the weirdest thing. No one's ever complained. Let me look at it. Snapped my neck or something, and whatever he had took out of place went back, bounced back in. He screwed up. And I did not go back to that guy again. And every so often I'm getting email, hey, do you want me to work on you? This, yada, yada. And I'm like, thinking, no. Then I moved. And if you hear any noise in the background of this video, I apologize. It's a lot of houses are under construction right now. And so anyways, as I move, I'm lifting a lot of heavy items, and which the average person should be easy, but this time it made the pinched nerve really bad. And I couldn't even bend. So I go to the chiropractor, and I wanted to see the first dude I knew, the OG guy, but he wasn't there. So I saw the other colleague, which I really did not want to see because he doesn't listen. But at that time, I did not have a choice, right? Well, he's like, oh my gosh, your hips are all lined. Whoa, like, what are you doing? Yeah, you moved. Okay. Yeah, let me fix that. Let's go on the spinator. It's this contraction you lay on, and it rolls up on your spine. It actually hurts me, my back. And then he would put the activator up around my spine. Oh, C4's out. Oh, this is out. On the right side. Oh, the neck. Yeah, let's do that. And I walk out, and I said, I had the biggest pinched nerve. Remember I said earlier, my foot would be turned this way? It was like, okay, your foot's like this. It was like turned slightly, and a really bad pinched nerve on the right leg. Not the left, but the right. And this was probably last year, early November. And I came back in about 2 weeks later. I said, the pain's really bad. It's a pinched nerve. He's like, let me see. Let me take a look at you. He's like, yeah, I've told you this is chronic. This is sciatica. That pain you're feeling is your sciatica nerve. I'm like, okay. I've never been diagnosed with sciatica ever. So that was a weird thing to hear. So then I did a session, and again, the pinched nerve was really bad. Finally, around Christmas time, went back in, and I said, look, I have one leg slightly longer than the other. I don't want my back worked on. I pointed where the pain was so bad. And this is beyond the pinched nerve. It was right under my tailbone, was twisted, he says. He goes, whoa, that is twisted. Let me fix that. So, and then just activate it on my back. C4 is out, this is out. And he's like, why is C4 always out? What are you doing? I'm like, nothing. In my mind, I'm thinking, well, you did this to me. But I couldn't say it to him because I'm not mean and I don't really lash out at people. So I just shied away and walked out. But the pinched nerve was still there. But when he did the tailbone part underneath the tailbone, all of a sudden this pain, my leg got loosey-goosey. It could rotate. But then it tightened up. So it's bouncing back in place, except it couldn't. Pinched nerve was so bad. And then the hamstring right underneath my knee was burning. So I'm back in, and he takes the activator at the hamstring, and I felt boing, boing, boing. So, I walk out, still a pinched nerve. And I did not go until, I think, end of January, early February. No, it was early February, because my daughter had cheer sport comp. So, we're at this year, right? And at cheer sport, if you don't know anything about that, that's this year they said 40,000 people came to that. We all wore masks. We're okay. It was not a super spreader. It's in downtown Atlanta at the convention center. And my daughter's coach was like, hey, we're meeting at the top of the stairs. I'm thinking, oh, crap. Because it hurt to walk as it was. And there was an elevator, but I did not realize there was an elevator. So I'm going up the stairs with the struggle bus, holding onto the railing, like I'm climbing a rope. And people are like, are you okay? Let me carry this Zuka bag. And the Zuka bag, a lot of ice skaters have. It's just a bag you roll and has a little seat on it. It's actually useful, but I became too dependent on it. And as I came up the stairs, I'm like, holy smokes, it hurts so bad. I just sit down, and And it's sad because every cheer comp over the years, it was hard for me to walk as it was. And it's an embarrassment as a mom. Like, I should be able to go to these things and not have an issue. Like, I should walk normal, right? So then I went back to chiropractor and I said, hey, this is what's going on. You know, he's like, oh gosh, all that walking can cause a problem. You know, you have a chronic issue. Remember I said, I've never been diagnosed with sciatica, ever. And he's, you know, I told him, I says, I can't do basic functions. I can't run or jump or jog or wear heels. And he says, oh, none of my clients do any of these things. I thought, well, what the hell? Is this normal? And I walked out again with pain and pinched nerve, and it was getting worse now. Before it went from my foot to my knee, now it crept up to right where my groin is. And it's getting worse. And this is the embarrassment part. Because I couldn't flex my right leg, intimacy became very, very hard because I wasn't flexible. And you're single? Saying quietly because it's embarrassing. Dating, I'm hard, so I don't date. I want to, trust me. And I really want to, obviously. But it became very, very hard for me for flexibility. And this was, mid-February. So I got to the car and I'm crying thinking, holy crap, is this going to be the rest of my life? Am I going to gain weight and have like a moo dress on? Because I had gained weight. I said I was active. I used to be very active. But because it was getting tougher for me to walk, all I did was I go to chiropractor, come home, take an Epsom salt bath, a little bit of Advil, and go to sleep and watch Netflix, which I'm really bored of. And it's not me. It's not me like that. And I'm gaining weight. And not me. I want to be healthy and active, right? And I'm trying to. I'm really trying to. I couldn't flex the leg. And then I went in one more time. I wanted to fix the issue. I said, I can't rotate. Oh yeah, before I went in, I did some flexing. I did some cat stretches or doggy style stretches, whatever you want to call it. And I couldn't rotate. It was right near the L5 and spine, like in between there. It's a diag, okay? And it was stuck on rotation. So I went in and explained the situation. Again, I can't run or jog, do basic functions. He's like, oh, that's your hip flexor. Okay, he showed me exercises to do. I'm like, okay, I'll copy that. One made things worse because I couldn't do lunges. I couldn't do even squats because I couldn't flex it. And by the way, it was not the hip flexor. I want to point this out, but it was where I could not bend it. It was like stuck there because it hurt so much. It was like almost like a very bad bruise, or you broke something or tore something. Like it was really painful. Advil did not help at all. Salt baths did not help at all. Laying around, yeah, I got lazy and I hated it. I don't like being this way. And he's like, wow, your L5 is super twisted. And he got, just untwist that. And then he uses his activator on the spine. And C4 is out again, Oh my gosh, your hips are aligned. And I came home and 2 days later, I'm trying to twist my back. And I remember I came in there for a certain area that could not rotate. He didn't even fix that. And I twist my back. It was Sunday. I'm about to get in the shower, and my body's telling me to, do twisting, right? It wanted to like unglue itself like a pressure cooker. And I get in the shower, and I turned, and all I heard was snap, crackle, pop all the way down my back. It was very painful. Let me tell you, it felt like an alien. And the pain throbbed for about 6 hours later. And I had to drive my daughter to cheer, and it's a 45-minute drive. I'm in the car, I have the hot pad on or the seat warmer on, and I'm trying to get the pain go away. I actually bought Advil, I bought Icy Hot, and then midweek that week, and this is, almost end of February at this point, I came in again, so this is what's going on, just fix this area. And he said, oh, wait, your L5 is out. I said, don't work on my back, please, nothing else. Don't work on C4. Of course, he clicks on the C4 again with the activator. He's like, wow, your L5 is really twisted. Let me untwist that, It took 3 days for throbbing to go down in my L5. The pinched nerve was still there. Now it's all the way up to my shoulder blade, and it's starting to go up to here. I prayed that night. I'm not a religious person, but I prayed. I said, Lord, I will never go to the chiropractor again if I go to the other chiropractor, the OG guy, and it gets rid of this pinched nerve. It was so bad. I want to function again. I want to be a normal mom, a normal woman. I want to date again. I want to be flexible. I want intimacy. Hello, pandemic. I want to have a normal life again, get in shape. And the following day, I saw the OG. I told him what happened. He's like, wow, how this happened? You were in any car accident? I said, no, this is from a colleague. He's like, whoa. He got very silent. And I laid on my side, and he, pushed in the hip joint, I guess, whatever the chiropractor does for alignment. And I heard snap, crackle, pop. And that pinched nerve pain went away just like that. It took another 3 days for the L5 throbbing to go down. He didn't do my back. He didn't do C4. And then I called a PT or a physical therapist. And I went in and said, here's my story. I couldn't say the full thing because, it'd be like, well, this is going on 15 minutes, so it was a long story. So I had to shorten it as much as possible. And, knowing that was muscular, knowing that can be fixed, can take a while. I saw from day one, I saw improvement. It's now 3 weeks. I see a huge improvement. I showed him where I think the L5 I said was. He's like, that's an L5. I said, well, C4. He's like, that's not C4. I'm like, holy crap. Was a chiropractor screwing up on me? Like, I knew he was. Like, did he not know where things were? Were we just pushing things in random? Like, this is messed up, dude. And and I remember one of the sessions before I went, my second to last session with this guy, because I wanted to fix it. This new lady came in and she was working out. She's like, yeah, I was working out and I bent the wrong way. Man, it hurts. And he's like, yeah, I've happened to all my clients, And my clients could run or jump. It's probably sciatica. Remember I said, I've never been diagnosed with sciatica. And I doubt she had. And he did the same thing with her. I don't know if she ever came back. I know there's a couple people that came in several times and I had not seen them after a while. But yeah, I have not been a chiropractor again. And it was a hard thing for me to bring up, but knowing that's happening to other people, yeah, I guess I could say is that if you notice that you're going to chiropractor more than once a week or 2 ways a week or 3 times a week, you need to stop. Go see a physical therapist, not a personal trainer, because I've done that. A personal trainer could not fix my flexibility, but I did get in shape. A physical therapist does an amazing job, and I highly recommend that. And make sure you're doing stretches at home. Make sure you're copying the homework you're given at the sessions. And then, make a goal. Make a goal list. And I've done that. And I said things I want to do I haven't done in years. I want to run. I want to jump. I want to skip. I want to hop. I want to play street hockey. I want to play soccer, ride horses. I think I want to get in like a training session, a CrossFit or whatever you call it. I want to motivate others, I'm excited to be active again. Today I went to the park. Actually, after my session, I came home and the first thing I said, can I jump? Because I haven't done that in years. And I did it. Jumped 3 times. It wasn't perfect, but I did it. I'm not limping as much. It's been 3 weeks. I'm not limping as much. It's still my upper right thigh is a little tender. Every so often I'll get like a little spasm, but not as bad. I can ride a stationary bike today. Discovered that. I can... I want to jump rope in the future. I don't know when that will be because I haven't been able to do double dutch since I was a kid. I want to bench press. I want to, I want to date again. I want to do so much stuff. And I want to have really cool intimacy, like stuff you see on those sites. I'm just saying. I want to do Kama Sutra. But yeah, here's my story. Anyways, bye.